Welcome to A Moment of Zen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Zen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, cryptocurrency, fintech, cannabis, and entertainment from the millennial mom's perspective. Here's your host, Zen Sams.
Hello, my beautiful friends. And hello, the awesome tri-state area. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for listening and interacting with me on social media. That truly does make it all worthwhile. Please make sure to follow me at Zen Sams. That's Zen with an X, not a Z. And remember that we're now live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, FinTech TV Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, and of course, all episodes of A Moment of Zen are now streaming 24/7 on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV. And of course, you can always find us on our YouTube channel. We have such a great show lined up for you today. Very exciting stuff. In our Innovation and Tech segment brought to you by Navé Travel, today we're chatting the amazing Kathy Ireland, supermodel turned supermogul, ranked the world's 19th most powerful brand, the highest ranking woman-owned licensing business in America. Today, she's joined by business partner Sean Stockell, CEO of Your Home Digital and executive producer of Your Home TV. They're coming on to chat streaming platforms and where the digital space is headed. In our Hello Open Metaverse segment by Animoca Brands, we have such a real treat for you. From our very own FinTech TV lineup, live from the iconic New York Stock Exchange right here in downtown Manhattan. Last week, I was joined by Alan Lau, Chief Business Officer at Animoca Brands. We'll be airing that coverage tonight. Alan and I discussed Animoca's incentives to effectively onboard Web3 builders and users, where the crypto market is heading, and the possibilities surrounding blockchain. Very exciting interview. You definitely don't want to miss it. In our Trailblazer segment, brought to you by Caldwell Soames, we're featuring the incredible Christophe Lafontaine, motivational speaker, disability awareness influencer, and author of One Man, Three Hearts, Nine Lives, an incredible story of hope, resilience, and survival. He's here to chat disability awareness, defying all odds, and his secret to remaining so positive. In our Politigal segment, brought to you by ogpay.com, we're featuring New Jersey's very own Holly Schapese. That's Senator Schapese, and she represents the 39th Legislative District, which includes 20 municipalities in Bergen County and 3 in Passaic. Today, we're chatting all about Phil Murphy's radical agenda, how we make New Jersey great again, and this year's plans for the Garden State. In our beauty segment, we're joined by celebrity cosmetic injector and beauty influencer Sari Katz, chatting the latest in skincare, injectables, and beauty trends. You definitely want to check that interview out. Next, stay tuned for Kathy Ireland and Sean Stockell. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OGPay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OGPay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up in just a few minutes in our Innovation and Tech segment brought to you by Navé Travel. Today, we're chatting with the amazing Kathy Ireland, supermodel turned supermogul, from Vogue, Cosmo, and Harper's Bazaar to People, Good Housekeeping, and Forbes. She's been on all of them. She is chair, CEO, and chief designer of Kathy Ireland Worldwide, the lifestyle brand she founded back in 1993, which now encompasses apparel, furniture, cosmetics, nutrition, resorts, insurance, telemedicine, and now digital streaming. She's Superwoman, ranked the world's 19th most powerful brand, the highest ranking woman-owned licensing business in America, and one of the youngest to be inducted to the Licensing International Hall of Fame. So impressive. Today, she's joined by our dear friend, Sean Stockell, and business partner, CEO of Your Home Digital and executive producer of Your Home TV. Sean and Kathy provide worldwide digital media and marketing strategies for leading brands and influencers. They're coming on to chat Your Home TV, streaming platforms, and where the digital space is headed. Welcoming now to the show are my dear friends, Kathy Ireland and Sean Stockell of Your Home TV. Welcome to the show, to the beautiful tri-state area, my dear friends.
Thank you, Zen. Great to be with you.
Great to have you back, Kathy. Thank you for coming on, Sean. WOR and iHeart are so excited to partner with you both. Your newly found collective combined venture, Your Home TV platform. A big congratulations goes out. Kathy, we'll start with you. You've partnered with leading programs in business, in health and wellness, in fashion, in home decor. The list goes on. And family programming really is at the core of it all. You're an official streaming platform like Netflix, and this means that you allow viewers to watch many videos that are not generally streamed on traditional television for free, bringing a lot of revenue and tons of benefits. And there are multiple reasons, of course, we know why OTT platforms are so popular. But in your point of view, from your personal objective, what drove you to partner with a digital OTT platform like Your Home TV?
Thank you, Zen. Well, what drove me to it was recognizing the need that this is the way that that young people of every age are getting their content, and that this is such a solution for families that they can avoid the cable costs and satellite subscriptions. This is a fantastic way to get the content how they want it, and in such a powerful way to cover just a variety of topics that are important. And it also allows people to develop their own content. So they can come to us at Your Home TV and meeting Sean Stockell, his team. They are just powerful leaders. And Zen, I love working with the best. You and I have talked about this. It's all about people. And that's why I love connecting with you, and am so grateful for your leadership. You inspire me, Zen. So working with Sean and his team, it's a powerful way to truly be of service and help families so they can come to us on Your Home TV. They can get information on financial freedom, wonderful weddings, fashion, the list goes on, it's endless. And we can help them also create their own content as well.
I love it. And of course, to clarify for those of you listening and watching, OTT, when we say that, over the top, is a means of providing television and film content over the internet at the request of the individual. So put simply, the term itself stands for over the top, which implies that a content provider is going over the top of existing internet services. And Your Home TV subscription is free, right? There's no cost to view, and provides families these friendly programs. And when you look at quite frankly, the junk that's out there, I love it that you're choosing your partners carefully, Kathy. Bringing me to Sean. Sean, welcome to the platform, my friend.
Thank you, Zen. Good to be with you.
Okay, let's dive right in. This is your cup of tea. So OTT platforms are on the rise because, of course, they offer a lot of benefits to companies and viewers. It's quite profitable for companies to create content and share it with people. And people appreciate the convenience, to Kathy's point, and usefulness of video streaming platforms. It's a win-win situation. Having come into the space with such a splash, what is your main objective with Your Home TV? And how does marketing via OTT differ from traditional models?
Well, the thing is you want to be where the people are, right? And so there's 220 million households now streaming globally, and the numbers are improving every year in streaming, whether it's studio or streamed radio. It's like 25 to 30% growth per year. Billions of dollars in revenue are being created. So this is where everybody wants to be. So as a strategy, we have been in content creation distribution for years, but OTT is where growth is. And our model is to allow influencers, leading influencers from all different businesses to team with us. And Kathy Ireland, it's an affordable way for people to enter the streaming area, the arena, and connect with all of the viewers out there who today have cut the cord. And 83% of American households are streaming now.
I love it. These statistics are very, very important to look at, because when you look at where people are, they want to save money. They want something on demand. They want it now, and they don't want to have to do downloads on their phones anymore. So I love it that there's no app downloads required, and that you at your home TV, you provide access to content via browser-based technology, which is extremely critical in this conversation, because the browser-based technology is really what's driving a lot of the access to free content, and viewers can access this anytime, anywhere, through leading browsers like Chrome and Bing and Yahoo. So it's very proprietary. I love it. Kathy, let's chat binge culture. So binge culture is attracting more users and advertisers and eyeballs in that respect. Plus, sports and OTT have evolved as such rich viewership streaming platforms. And globally, on average, an internet user we know spends 6 hours and about 53 minutes online per day. So after social media, OTT comes a second close. How has Kathy Ireland Worldwide stayed ahead of the curve and remained at the forefront of all these ever-changing trends?
Thank you, Zen. By listening, having our eyes on the horizon, our ear to the ground. I refer to our customer out there as my boss. So listening to my boss and how she and he want to receive this service and what their needs are every day, and continuing to meet and look for the very best in each area. And that is why, I love, Sean, I love what you're doing. Zen, you mentioned sports. Sean, you've got something coming out very soon that's really exciting, and it's a wonderful way to truly be of service and thinking about not just what is current but the future, and we truly see this as the future.
It really is. And many Americans actually may not remember the last time they stopped by a newsstand to pick up a magazine or newspaper, or the last time they passed by, let alone walked into a video store. So the rise of digital media and technology has definitely transformed the way that we access our news and entertainment and consume it. So you're spot on. So Sean, from your point of view, what's the biggest challenge facing OTT platforms, and how are you mitigating those challenges for your channel partners?
The number one challenge now is how to do this affordably, right? Cost effectively. It's a typical business model. You have to have, and it has to be affordable for those that are in content production and are looking for a place to distribute their content. So it's got to work for everybody. So we have that model. It's low cost for the participants. There's a revenue share component. No one else is doing that. That's novel. And then it's every area. So many of the streaming platforms focused on just movies and documentaries. There's kind of a limited amount of content on any given channel, right? Some are just focused on home area, like we were several years ago, and they're home oriented, or only children's programs or something like that. And I think that's the other thing for the future. People that are going to do well in streaming need to have content for everyone. It needs all different interests. And what's enabled this to happen, obviously, is the advances in technology. I mean, the internet connectivity and the 4D and 4K and 5K. Everybody on mobile devices, they want to stream and look at content whenever they want to, and it's short. That's another thing that I think is very interesting. Some of the larger entities are like, you've got to have an exact 30-minute program or an exact 1 hour. We don't do that. If somebody wants to put up 12 minutes, that's fine. If they want to run 32 minutes, that's fine. It's you need to allow everyone, whether it's the viewer or the content producer, to work within a model that works well for everybody. And that's I think those are the ingredients.
Yeah, for sure. Flexibility, ease, affordability, sustainability, rolling with the technology and the advancements. Where we're headed into Web3, we'll touch upon that in just a little bit. But if you look at the stats, the global over-the-top OTT services market is expected to grow from $202 billion, which it was in 2022, according to statistics, to $435 billion by the year 2027. That's double. Those are big numbers in such a short short period. So I love this concept. Your home for sports, music, travel, fashion. It definitely feels very proprietary. What you and Kathy have going on is pretty incredible. We have about 2 minutes left. Kathy, anything you want to add on to this segment about listeners and viewers coming on here? Should they be price shocked? Should they be sticker shocked? Is this an easy ecosystem? What are your final thoughts?
Thank you so much, Zen. I encourage then all of your listeners to please check this out. Your home TV. It is a powerful resource. You will enjoy what you're able to find, and you'll also find ways in which can really help you and your goals and your dreams, and really help you to monetize your dreams in so many powerful ways.
So amazing. And you know what you're doing, Kathy? You're feeding into the creator economy, because this is the prelude to your home TV eventually having a presence in the metaverse and Web3, which is where I foresee this going. I'll be the voice for that one. But people want to be able to have that user interface. They want to be able to collaborate, but at the same time, your platform allows for people to use it and consume it. And so at an affordable price with an incredible brand behind them being their cheerleader, it's a win-win for all. So thank you for bringing the service. Sean, you're amazing. Thank you for coming up with this incredible platform that's free and so educational. You've done a great job, my friend.
Thank you, Zen. Thanks for having us on. And most importantly, I'd like to thank Kathy and her entire team at Kathy Ireland Worldwide. We could not have done this project without them. Tremendous team, so many talented people and wonderful people. So we love the whole Kathy Ireland team. Very grateful for them.
Amen
Thank
to
you,
that.
Sean. We love you too. And we love
Amen
you,
to
Jen.
that.
Thank you.
Amen to that. This is all love here. I love it. Well, we are out of time. Don't move a muscle. Guys, you definitely have to check out this platform. That was our innovation and tech segment brought to you by Navé Travel. But listen, Your Home TV researches and they publish comprehensive content. I know this for a fact. And they thrive to release the most reliable and helpful information in each category, which is extremely important. It's a genuine purpose, a free resource for people who want to browse, learn, view ideas, and more importantly, gain insight with no gimmicks. Definitely check out yourhometv.com. And that was Kathy Ireland. Check her out all over the gram at her handle at Kathy Ireland. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. And more importantly, check out our channel on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV, mox.yourhometv.com. We'll be right back after this. Don't move a muscle.
Hi, this is Kathy Ireland here on A Moment of Zen, brought to you by Your Home TV. We've developed an all-inclusive subscription-free network that you're going to love, whether it's financial freedom, fashion, beauty, health and wellness, wonderful weddings, travel and culture, cooking, entertainment, and short-form documentaries, programming for everyone. Classic films and new shows, including Kathy Ireland Presents American Dreams. We've developed this network just for you. Please check out yourhometv.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. Welcoming back to our innovation and tech segment with the incredible Kathy Ireland and Sean Stockell of Your Home TV. Welcome back, my friends.
Thank you, Zen.
All right, let's get to it. This is a combo question, and I want you to both react differently and uniquely. Okay, Kathy, I'm going to start with you. So we're headed to a future where the world will be far more reliant on technology than it is now. We know this. Today, our information superhighway, the internet, has become the most valuable asset for almost everybody. And the unprecedented surge in demand for the internet has created a new technological wave, immersing everything and everyone in it. However, the internet has evolved over time, and the changes that it has undergone since its inception have been remarkable for many reasons, especially for how they have transformed human life. We're going to remember the past decade for two major events, my friends: Facebook's rebranding to Meta and a paradigm shift from Web 2 to Web 3. And although both breakthroughs have been very transformative, let's chat about the evolution of the web from version 2 to 3 and the impact of Web 3 entertainment in what we're calling the tech sphere. And it's definitely worth noting, Kathy, that the implications of Web 3 are profound, and Web 3, as we know it, seems to be on this mission to revolutionize every sector, including healthcare, gaming, e-commerce. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You are a businesswoman, you are a leader, you're always at the forefront of everything. Break it down for me.
Well, thank you, Zen. Absolutely. Web3, it is every sector it impacts us, and decentralization. This is key, and blockchain, tech, other forms of digital interaction for users that can provide increased data security. And that is so important. Scalability and privacy that may be encroached upon by larger, more established tech companies. And as with anything new, there's critical concerns. However, there's also potential for great achievement. So, how people move forward in this is critical, and it's necessary, so much more powerful to be ahead of these changes rather than just be forced to react to them.
Love it. Of course, beautifully said. Kathy Ireland nipped it in the bud right there, like a Hallmark little little commercial. Sean, please react to this. What are your thoughts for Web3? Are you a fan?
Well, I'm being a conservative Midwestern guy. I'm from the show me state of Missouri, right? So I'm still in that mode. Show me. But I love it. I applaud the blockchain development. Improved security is the goal there. The decentralization, more of a user-based collaborative. That's powerful. I think a lot of it right now, where there maybe is some disconnect is in the lingo. When people say NFT, so what's a non-fungible token, right? So your average consumer out there can't relate to that. So some of it is just it's going to take some time for people to understand what it's all about and how it impacts them in daily life, right? So NFTs are nothing more than digital offers. They're interactive ads where people can shop and buy, and it's a commerce, right? So I like that, but I think it has a ways to go. There's a lot of money being poured into it, and the cryptocurrency, that in and of itself, currency, it's usually governed. So there's the jury is still out, but I am one that accepts change, and I'll roll with it. We'll see where it leads.
Yeah, we'll definitely see where it leads. Well, two very unique, interesting perspectives. I love it. I echo both of your sentiments in the sense that, yeah, I'm still waiting to see where this technology is going to take us. But I have to say, I'm a crypto enthusiast. I'm an avid gamer. I love the metaverse. Animoca Brands is one of our sponsors. Of course, I spend a big portion of my day talking about this. But the only fear I tell people that you should have is not being part of it, because you have to understand it. You have to really kind of get in there and get your feet wet. Get a MetaMask wallet. Start to trade some crypto. Don't do anything major. Don't go crazy. Don't make it be 40% of your portfolio, but start to really get excited by small little bits and pieces of it. And I think it'll go a long way. Well, listen, we're out of time. It was such a pleasure chatting with you both. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Zan.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Guys, that was our innovation in tech segment brought to you by Navé Travel. You definitely have to check out yourhometvtalk.com. Head to their website and definitely check out our channel, mox.yourhometv.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OG Pay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OG Pay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here in the tri-state area on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Coming up in our Trailblazer segment, brought to you by Caldwell Soames, we're featuring the incredible Christophe Lafontaine, motivational speaker, disability awareness influencer, and author of One Man, Three Hearts, Nine Lives, a story of hope, resilience, and survival. While Christoph was born healthy and without any apparent issues, doctors were convinced that he wouldn't make it past 7 years old after collapsing in his New Jersey home one evening, discovering he was in heart failure with complete heart block. They had no idea what caused this. 3 decades later, not only is Chris still here, but he has defied all the odds placed against him. Christoph survived a pacemaker implantation, 2 heart transplants, a kidney transplant, gallbladder removal, lung collapse, pain medication drug overdose, respiratory failure, thyroid cancer, a pulmonary embolism, and a tracheotomy. Then, at the age of 27, if all that wasn't enough, he was diagnosed with a rare genetic muscular disease known as myofibrillar myopathy, for which there is no treatment or cure. The disease progressively attacks the various muscle groups of a person's body. And in this case, it was discovered that the disease was also responsible for initially attacking his heart muscle at the tender age of 6 years old. Now, in the last 5 years, he has lost usage of about 80% of his bodily function. He is currently fully wheelchair dependent and requires the assistance of a full-time 24/7 personal aide who resides with him. Today, he's here to chat disability awareness, defying all odds, his secrets to remaining so positive, and his plans for 2023. Welcome to the show, superstar.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here with you.
Oh, you are so inspirational, my friend, and motivational and full of life. So thank you for being here and spreading so much positivity and helping others. God bless you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Now, despite all the reasons you can choose to give up, you are the brightest light. What drives you? And do you really have 3 hearts?
I get that question a lot. So I do not actually have 3 hearts currently, but over the course of my life, as you mentioned, because of my 2 heart transplants, so I have the heart that I was originally born with, and then my heart was replaced twice, once at the age of 16 and once at the age of 21. So I am currently on my 3rd heart, hence the name One Man, 3 Hearts. And as far as my driving force, I have to say, as cliche as it may sound, I am surrounded by just so much love and support. And, between my family, my friends, my community, they give me a lot of different reasons to live and keep going.
It's true. In a recent study, community was the #1 reason for a person's happiness and positive community relationships. So that's important.
Yes.
Now, at the age of 27, you were diagnosed with this rare genetic muscular disease known as, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, myofibrillar myopathy.
Correct.
And there's no cure or treatment. Apparently, through research, I've learned that this progressively attacks various muscle groups of your body. Now, what are your biggest health issues currently, and what is the prognosis?
Currently, I am dealing with the muscle fibers of my body have been continually breaking down. And so I am constantly getting weaker over time. And, that affects a lot of my independence, the things that I'm able to do for myself. Again, as you mentioned, that's why I do have a 24/7 living caregiver. His name is Emmanuel. And ever since he came into my life, he's been a real blessing and a godsend. I would say that for me, currently, the biggest challenge has been losing my independence and, not being able to really do simple, basic tasks that a lot of people take for granted for myself. I am no longer able to groom myself. I'm no longer able to shower by myself or get dressed. Eating has become very difficult for me recently. And so a lot of those things, believe it or not, as hard and challenging as they are physically, the biggest battle is the mental aspect and just kind of fighting through anxiety, depression, things that a lot of us go through anyway, just because of life. And so to have all these issues on top of that, it's very challenging for me on a day-to-day basis just to kind of fight through those different obstacles. I would also say that I'm very blessed that my internal organs at this time are all doing very well. My heart, since transplant, it's been about 22 years, and, the heart couldn't be doing better. God bless my angel donors. Unfortunately, I am back on dialysis after my transplanted kidney failed. So I have been back on dialysis now for about 5 years, and that can kind of, have its effects on the body as well. But overall, I would say, I'm doing the best I can considering, and just really trying to maintain my mental health and positivity, as you said.
Well, you're doing a great job,
Thank you.
regardless of if you see it in yourself or not. Not only are you a pillar in the community, but you are such an example of a positive outlook on life. Talking about mental health, I mean, you are the epitome of proper mental health, because keeping it together, even if you have a dark moment, a dark thought, you come out winning, and you've always come out winning. And that's the difference with somebody with your outlook on life versus somebody who has completely given up. Now,
Yes.
you're back on dialysis. You're waiting a second kidney transplant. Your blood type O, I know that for anyone out there listening. But these are all the very reasons why you could have given up, but you didn't. So let's talk about what motivates you. So you currently work very closely with the pediatric transplant team at New York Presbyterian Children's Hospital, and you provide counseling for children awaiting heart transplants, as well as organizing events and toy drive donations year round. In addition, you're a certified health and life coach with clients from all around the world. Christoph, you're simply incredible.
Thank you.
This feels like a full schedule, all while fighting these health battles. How do you keep up, and what is your stamina like?
Well, I will say that, for me, energy wise, I am, like you said, full of life. And despite, all the different challenges that I have physically, I wake up every morning, feeling ready to go, and I feel energized. And I will say that I am very blessed, because not only do I have the support of my family, friends, and community, but also now complete strangers. And I think a lot of us in life, we're searching for a purpose and a reason, and for me, I have found that helping others through my own struggles has become my purpose. And, I've received countless messages, and, so many people that I come across will tell me how much I've inspired or motivated them, or in some cases saved their lives. And for me, that is such a driving force, because it gives all of my suffering meaning. And at the end of the day, it gives me something to live for. And so now, working with the children that are waiting for transplant, or even adults and other people that are dealing with things that aren't even necessarily medically related, but just to know that I can have any kind of an impact, or to help them get through their own circumstances, is just it gives me a sense of purpose. And for me, when I wake up in the morning and I don't necessarily feel like, pushing myself, I find that pushing myself for others is what gets me through.
Oh, it's so important to pay it forward, and paying it forward is it's everlasting. It's a domino effect. But what it does to one's soul to see the happiness that you brought to somebody else, that's the rewarding part. Now, 6 years ago, you chronicled your life story in a self-published memoir titled One Man, Three Hearts, Nine Lives, which is available for purchase on Amazon, Kindle, and Barney's across the board. As a result, you began a career doing motivational presentations at schools and libraries and churches. What is the biggest life lesson that you have learned, and what advice do you have for the disability community watching and listening?
I really learned that there's so much in life that we tend to overlook and take for granted. I always say to people that despite the challenges that came along with my illness, I'm also very grateful for what it has taught me. Because a lot of us, right, we go through life living on autopilot, and we tend to miss the beautiful moments, or, not really pay attention to the little things. And so I have learned that a lot of the things that I once took for granted, like walking, going to the bathroom on my own, eating, even something as simple as sitting outside and feeling the sun and the wind on my skin. These are all things that now I fully embrace, as well as the people that are in my life. I don't take the people and my loved ones that are around me for granted. And again, as humans, it's very easy to kind of get caught up and forget to appreciate those things. And so I'm very grateful to my condition, because I feel like I'm living life with my eyes open now, in a way that I would not have necessarily had I not gotten sick. And so I really, when I, speak to people, not even in just presentations, but in my everyday conversation, I really try to kind of ground people and make them realize that there are just so many different blessings around you. You just have to be paying attention. And it's very easy to get, swallowed up by the dark moments. And
well said.
Yes, but it's
well said.
But we need to really kind of try and refocus and regroup and just realize that we're blessed.
Yes, and success, as Charles Lindbergh said, success is not measured by what a man accomplishes, but by the opposition he has encountered and the courage with which he has maintained the struggle against overwhelming odds. And that's something that I always live by. All right, we have about a minute and a half left. Let's talk about your feature film. So if you could quickly promote this, let's chat plans for 2023. Your very talented production team at Sugar Beach Digital. You've recently executive produced a documentary short called It Started with the Heart, based on your life story. And you're currently in the middle of production for your full-length documentary feature. In under a minute, I know I'm putting you up against the clock. Tell me about this feature.
So we put together the documentary short about a year ago just to test the market and see if my story had any value and worth sharing with the rest of the world. And we came to the conclusion that it indeed does. So we are now currently in the process of raising the rest of the funds throughout 2023, looking for corporate sponsorships and investors to help us to achieve my mission and goal, to just share my story ultimately with the world, to help inspire and motivate people that may be fighting through their own struggles and motivate them to never, ever give up.
I love it. Well, listen, we are out of time, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on, for inspiring us, for inspiring our listeners and our viewers, and coming onto our platform and sharing your story with such transparency and grace.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
You bet. Guys, you definitely have to check out Christophe Lafontaine. Definitely go to his website, oneman3hearts.com. You can also check out theheartfilm.com. He's all over social media on the gram at The Heart Film, or you can check out One Man, Three Hearts on the handle. And remember, the tests we face in life's journey are not to reveal our weaknesses, but to help us discover our inner strengths. We can only know how strong we are when we strive and thrive beyond the challenges we face. All the energy in the universe is evenly present in all places at the same time. We don't get energy, we release energy. And the triggering mechanism to release energy is desire. When you have a strong desire to do something, you will always have the energy to do it. That was our Trailblazer segment, brought to you by Caldwell Soames. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Animoca Brands. As a worldwide industry leader in digital entertainment, blockchain, and digital property rights, Animoca Brands plays a key role in the future growth of the open metaverse. During unstable times like these in burgeoning industries similar to blockchain, it's important to realize that blockchain can and will survive and eventually flourish, and industry-leading companies like Animoca Brands will guide the transformation into the future. Animoca Brands will keep building a better and fairer Web3 ecosystem, create impact for better, and bring true digital property rights to all internet users through NFTs and the open metaverse. For more information and to become part of the excitement, go to animocabrands.com. That's animocabrands.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. In our Hello Open Metaverse segment, brought to you by Animoca Brands, we have such a treat lined up for you tonight. We're going to be joined by Alan Lau, Chief Business Officer at Animoca Brands, live from the New York Stock Exchange. Alan and I discussed Animoca's incentives to effectively onboard Web3 builders and users. We chatted where the crypto market is heading and the possibilities surrounding the blockchain. Check it out. Welcome, my beautiful friends. I'm your host, Zen Sams, here on FinTech TV, live from the iconic New York Stock Exchange, right here in downtown Manhattan. In just a few, I'll be joined by Alan Lau, Chief Business Officer at Animoca Brands, a global leader in blockchain games. Animoca Brands' valuation remains at roughly $5.9 billion. According to a recent statement by co-founder Yat Su, Animoca Brands is aiming to grow its portfolio of companies by more than 30% by the end of this year as it doubles down on investments in what is being touted as a quote-unquote crypto winter. While the reputation of the crypto industry has been tarnished by a number of scandals over the past year, from the collapse of the FTX exchange to the bankruptcy of several crypto lenders and hedge funds, other areas of the market, such as blockchain and trading of non-fungible tokens, are in fact seeing significant amounts of activity. Animoca is currently invested in more than 380 companies with no signs of stopping anytime soon. Joining me now to chat all about Animoca's incentives to effectively onboard Web3 builders and users, where the crypto market is heading, and the possibilities surrounding the blockchain is the amazing Alan Lau. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you so much for coming here. Okay, well, let's jump in. Alan, please talk to me about what you feel the biggest possibilities in Web3 this year will be, and what should investors really be eyeing?
Yeah, I think there's clearly more optimism going into 23. If you look at NFT and crypto prices, I think people are willing to look past the mess that is 22 and, just look around them. And clearly there are great builders, there's a lot of great projects out there. So, I think there's a good momentum coming in. I think we'll be looking for a couple of things in 23, and one is around blockchain games. And there are companies like Yuga Labs, already a leader in the industry, that is starting the year with a bang with the game Dookie Dash, which I think is generating a lot of excitement. 22 is also a year where a lot of seeds were sowed in game development, so I think we're going to see a lot of great games coming out. So blockchain game as a sector, I think we're very bullish and excited about. The second thing is, I think Web3 is going to go beyond gaming. I think this year where we're going to see there's going to be Web3 element in music and entertainment and sports. Two of the companies that Animoca invested in, one of them is Pixelink, and we're building the music Metaverse together with Pixelink. And with TinyTap, we're trying to decentralize education. Working with already a leader in Web2 education. So I think we're going to see Web3 going beyond gaming. And I think the third thing is there's going to be a lot of brands, the like of Starbucks, Nike, Disney coming into the market. I think will make people sit up and pay attention. So I think 23, we're looking for all those signs, and I think those are important things for us to look out for.
These are extremely important things. I know you guys are always at the forefront of what's going on in the market. And actually, according to your co-founder, Yat Su, in a recent statement, he said he also hopes to strengthen Animoca's business in places such as the Middle East region, Japan. I know you guys talk about South Korea. You're also in the process, congratulations, of raising a $1 billion fund. That's extremely exciting stuff. And the fund is to invest in Metaverse and blockchain firms. So talk to me. This is not just something that you guys woke up one day and said, hey, this is what we're going to decide to do. You have been looking at the market, tracking investments, making sure that you're aligning yourself with the right properties, and more importantly, the right relationships throughout the industry. And it's extremely important that you are doing your due diligence and making sure that you have the ability to keep the bad actors out. When you look at what has happened in the industry, like FTX and the collapse of that exchange, you don't want to leave a sour taste in investors' mouths. And you guys have done such a good job being at the forefront and leaders in this industry. So I take my hat off to you. Okay, so moving on. Digital assets have recently soared. I mean, they've recently soared to the highest level since August. We've seen the market with crypto prices really back up to where they were before FTX's disastrous collapse. And now traders are calling what something might look like this new bull market coming in the horizon. Alan, talk to me. What do you feel is necessary for this, for us to really start to feel that this bull market could in fact be taking place? What are the triggers that we should be looking for?
Yeah, I think it starts with a shift in spotlight, and I think that's happening. People are looking away from Wall Street crypto, which has all the issue around it, especially around centralized exchange, and focusing on tech crypto again, which are all the people that are using blockchain as a technology to build and transform industry. And I think within that, once that spotlight shifted, people will be looking for a couple of things, right? I mean, one is the adoption by a lot of users. So people will be looking for large community, right? It's not just 10K, 20K, but really mass adoption at the million level, right? So, I think that would generate excitement. More use cases, as we mentioned, blockchain game is clearly one that's been proven already, but it could be music, sports, education, so the more use case adoption. And then I think the final thing, again, it always helps is when big brands come in, when Starbucks, Disney, Square Enix come in, people is always going to sit up and say, hey, we've got to pay attention to this. And that's an important part of education. So I think, in 23, I think all those will happen. We'll be looking for those signs. And, I think, we've got strong momentum going in right now. It should be a much better year than 22.
It's all about education, especially I know that Animoca Brands is all about edutainment and educating not only the community, but really talking about the best use cases for blockchain, gamification, even tokenization. I know you guys have an incredible department head of tokenomics, Mohammed Al-Din. Big shout out to Mohammed. But right now it's all about incentivizing Web3 builders and users to really onboard. And that's what we've really been talking about in the last couple of weeks. We've seen the launch of a brand new, very exciting platform called Mocaverse. Please talk to me about what Mocaverse is and how this idea is really helping bridge the builders, the users, and really giving back to the community.
Yeah. So Mocaverse is Animoca's first membership NFT collection. It really is a way of saying thank you to our OG supporters, everyone who support us through our growth journey, our investors, our employees, companies that we invested in our portfolio, and also holders of Animoca issued tokens and NFTs. So the idea is, we're going to be creating an NFT that we give as a token of our appreciation, but it's also our commitment to say, let's come together as a stronger community, as a closer community, and doing more together. And I think this is really special because this is a collection where it's not just one company building utility, it's not just Animoca, but it's, the 400 companies that we have in our portfolio. So, right on day one. So there's a lot of rich utility around playing together, learning together, doing good together and building together. So we've got 4 different areas that we want to engage the community to do this. So, what we've launched recently is we've announced that we're going to mint next month in February. And before that, we've already engaged token and NFT holders of Animoca issued tokens before. And, some of them hold Rams tickets, which they're already trading on OpenSea right now. It's a Polygon NFT, which we give them a chance to win a Mocaverse NFT. So, we can see that it's already top 10 at OpenSea, so a lot of excitement. So we can't wait for us to really start the Mocaverse journey next month.
I know it's all about getting on that Mocha list.
Yeah.
And I was exploring a little bit the website. Mocaverse.xyz, and I went onto the realms, and I looked at the different realms, and I looked at the different tribes, and I actually put my 7-year-old daughter on the website, and she started going through the profile. She was very engaged. So what I came to realize is that you guys have come up with such a creative way to unify, again, through animation, gamification, amazing visuals, amazing concepts, but it's the engagement. It's keeping that community engaged, keeping them loyal, and once you're controlling communities, which you guys have done so effectively well over all the portfolios that you're acquiring, but even when you're looking at why your valuation is where it is, it goes far beyond just the 380, 400 companies that you've invested in. It's about a mindset. It's about a mentality. It's about paving the way and then choosing the right soldiers and the upper tier management who, like yourselves, like Robbie Young, like Mohammed, like your incredible entire amazing department, Zaf Chow, right? I mean, you look at these incredible individuals that are working within the company that are all exemplary in their own way. And a big shout out to you, also Parasite. You're a big art buff, I have to say that. So, listen, you're at the stock exchange, you're representing Animoca Brands. I want to thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure getting to chat with you, and congratulations on all the amazing things Animoca is doing.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Animoca Brands. As a worldwide industry leader in digital entertainment, blockchain, and digital property rights, Animoca Brands plays a key role in the future growth of the open metaverse. During unstable times like these in burgeoning industries similar to blockchain, it's important to realize that blockchain can and will survive and eventually flourish, and industry-leading companies like Animoca Brands will guide the transformation into the future. Animoca Brands will keep building a better and fairer Web3 ecosystem, Create impact for better and bring true digital property rights to all internet users through NFTs and the open Metaverse. For more information and to become part of the excitement, go to AnimocaBrands.com. That's AnimocaBrands.com.
Hi, I'm Sari Katz, your skin specialist on A Moment of Zen. Today I'm going to talk to you all about threads. Have you heard of them before? No, not the kind that we put in our clothes, the kind that we put in our faces. Well, threads are absorbable sutures or stitches that we put through the different layers of the skin to provide smoothing, rejuvenating, and lifting effects. It is a non-invasive, minimal downtime procedure that's had a lot of popularity in European and Asian countries. Only recently, it's come over to the United States as one of the most popular non-invasive cosmetic procedures. Why? Well, we've seen celebrities like Bella Hadid use the brow lift thread technique to create more of an open eye, and other celebrities using it for traction of their cheeks, improvement in their smile lines and necklines. So threads have become a great alternative for lifting the skin to surgical outcomes. How does it work? Well, in about a 30 to 45 minute procedure over lunchtime, these small tubes called cannulas help us to introduce the suture into different layers of our tissues of our face where the sutures are left behind. Once the sutures are left behind, they break down or absorb over 4 to 6 months. In their place, they leave collagen production that takes about 12 to 18 months to go away. So that collagen production can give us rejuvenating effects for a year or two. Why is this important? Well, every year, starting in our 20s, we lose about 1 to 2% collagen per year, which is a huge change in our tissues, especially as we get into our 40s and 50s. So this is a great non-invasive alternative. It's not overly expensive. It ranges in the $1,500 to $2,500 range per treatment. It has minimal downtime and minimal scarring. So actually, if you talk to some plastic surgeons out there, they'll say the results are hit or miss. They last about 6 months, not as long as expected if you're looking at the major effect, which is created by the absorbable suture itself. But then in their place, the collagen production to some surgeons can be equated to scar tissue that we see with collagen bundles in trauma. So that scar tissue actually can hinder their surgical outcomes. However, other procedures will be a good adjunct or a good alternative to surgical intervention, like these thread lifts or fillers or tightening devices, so that the non-surgical candidate can have some options for rejuvenating their skin without undergoing the knife. So really, the thread lift community has loved having an alternative for the surgical facelift that serves as a minimal, non-invasive facelift. These are the pros and cons of threads, but I'll let you decide. I'm just keeping you in the know as your skin specialist on A Moment of Zen.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OG Pay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OG Pay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Coming up in the Political segment, brought to you by ogpay.com, we're featuring New Jersey's very own Holly Schepisi. That's Senator Schepisi, and she represents the 39th Legislative District, which includes 20 municipalities in Bergen County and 3 in Passaic. She's also a dedicated mother, wife, and partner at O'Toole Scrivo Law Firm in Cedar Grove. Now, while in the assembly, amongst other things, she has been one of the most vocal representatives in Trenton, fighting against overdevelopment in the district, fighting to reopen restaurants, bars, and small businesses, fighting against the increased tax burdens and uncontrolled spending driving out the middle class. She has introduced legislation to change the unfair school funding formula that disproportionately impacts District 39 communities and, in fact, is the primary reason for high property taxes. Holly is joining us today to chat career, motherhood, and 2023 plans for New Jersey. Welcoming now to the show is the amazing trailblazer, Holly Shapizi. Welcome.
And thank you for having me on, Zen.
Absolutely. It's such a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming onto the show. And I just wanted to take the time to thank you for all of your hard work and efforts to serve the people of New Jersey fairly, which is important.
It is very difficult sometimes as you're negotiating and discussing some of these topics when you talk about fairness and parity and some of the policies that may have unintended consequences and make it very difficult for our residents to thrive and survive.
Yeah, it's true. And well, before we dive into the nitty gritty, because I love how you just, started off with what the issues at hand. Roll up your sleeve and let's talk about it. Yes, but also a big congrats is in order to you, State Senator. WOR is also extending congratulations to Assemblyman Bob Oth and Assemblywoman Deanne DeFuccio. I heard you are all announcing your campaign for re-election, so upwards and onwards.
Thank you. Yep, we just entered the new election cycle where this year I will be the top of the ticket for our district.
Big congratulations. Okay, let's get to it. You were quoted saying, "We're more motivated than ever to serve, and should we be reelected, we'll continue to fight to bring much needed common sense to Trenton and fight back against the radical agenda of Phil Murphy and Trenton Democrats." Talk to me about what radical parts of Phil Murphy's agenda you'd want to peel back.
Well, there's so many different facets. I mean, we just started to emerge financially once again out of the pandemic and really unnecessary lockdowns that took place in New Jersey far beyond what was needed, I think, from a public health perspective. And we saw upwards of almost, it was close to 40% of our small businesses in the state shuttered their doors as a result of that policy, many of which, a majority of which were owned by women and minorities. We saw just recently, because the state wasn't releasing it, how badly the impact on education loss was by the shutdowns and the quote unquote virtual learning. I'm a mother of an 11-year-old, a 19-year-old, and I witnessed it firsthand with my own children. And that's coming out of a very good school district. We're seeing that we may have a generation of kids who never achieved their educational opportunity as a result of, those draconian measures that were put into place. And then during that same period of time, rather than focusing in our state on learning loss and learning lag and how to implement tools for kids' mental health, as well as for the loss of several years of real pivotal education, the focus of the state and the Democrats during that exact same period of time was implementing in literally like the dark of the pandemic, new policy, new legislation that focuses on not teaching children how to think anymore, but teaching children what to think and really kind of enmeshing into every subject, political types of arguments and sexuality and a whole host of other things that may or may not be age appropriate, one, and two, are discussions oftentimes best left to families to have with their children.
I couldn't agree more. Amen to that. And when you go back, I mean, there's across the board, there's red flags here. We have a budget process that's out of control. The budget's up nearly 50% since Murphy took office. Democrats have absolutely nothing to show for the windfall they received. I mean, where did it go? And then you have this absurdly expensive green energy plan. And let's not forget the many job-killing pandemic policies that, thank you for being so out there about this, that you're trying to, recover in a sensical way, where all these people lost their jobs over what? Over not getting vaccinated? I mean, over things that felt very draconian, like you said. I mean, I can go on and on. Also, parents have been denied a voice in their children's education. Crime in the state is entirely through the roof, including car thefts, exacerbated by Murphy's early release policy, in addition to a Supreme Court slap gun policy. So it's just mayhem across the board. So let's chat mental health, okay? So for me as a mom, this is an extremely important issue. Suicide is now the second leading cause of death among young Americans. Black children under 12 and Asian American youth are at the greatest risk for self-harm. The CDC just recently released a report that nearly 1 in 4 young adults in the U.S. has been treated for mental health issues during the pandemic. And now we have the Surgeon General issued a report indicating that more than 1 in 3 students are reporting feeling, sad, depressed, hopelessness. I mean, this is really at as far as you can go as a society. We're at a crisis point. We need new tools and new strategies. Talk to me, Holly. What action plan do you have in place to address this new sad reality?
Well, as I have mentioned, being a mom to 2 children and talking with my friends and other associates, this is impacting almost every single family right now. You have a generation of children who were the very first with social media, with the internet, with iPhones, with Snapchat, that were already trying to adjust socially. And I look at my daughter's age group, they are the perfect storm, where they take a look online, they perceive everybody else's lives as perfect. They got locked down for 2 pivotal years in their education, their junior and senior years of high school, and got released into college, having really no tools or skill sets or being able to handle what they just came out of, being locked down and going from 0 to 100 literally overnight. And so we're seeing a huge uptick in mental health crises right now. And one of the biggest issues is dealing with it. Any parent who's attempted to reach out gets told it's 3-week to 6-month waiting lists in order to even get the mental health help that's needed. In college campuses, it's abysmal. College campuses, even the student health centers and the crisis centers, 6 weeks out oftentimes to get an appointment for a child. And you're crossing state lines with a lot of this. I think we really need to look at and encourage a very robust telehealth space within the psychiatric, psychology arenas. We need to enter into it and have more robust interstate compacts. So one issue that a lot of parents are finding is their child may have begun mental health services at home through telehealth. They go to college, and depending upon the state that they're in, that doctor may be precluded from continuing to provide treatment to the patient, even as a pre-existing patient, unless they're licensed within that state. And so it's something where I have a couple of pieces of legislation dealing with telehealth, some glitches that we did see during the pandemic, including even if a 911 crisis call got made by a psychiatrist or a therapist who's online with a patient that they may believe self-harms or attempts to commit suicide. The way the system currently is set up is you pick up as a doctor, you dial 911. 911 gets dispatched to your location, not your patient's location. So that's one of the bills that I've actually drafted to try to correct that. We need, you look at the pandemic relief monies that the state was given, almost $6 billion that it has been kind of unaccounted for, is going to pet projects. We just saw the governor bought 6 brand new SUVs for.
I saw that. I saw the 5 SUVs for $589,000. I mean, okay, sure.
$600,000, where our school districts don't receive that in total for state funding. And so we need to fund mental health and mental health initiatives within our schools. have therapists, have psychiatric help available for parents as go-to resources. We
Yes.
need to have
all of that. I just want to be mindful of the time. All of that is extremely important, but I couldn't agree more, because if you look at overall New Jersey, the existing mental health program, the school-based youth services, I mean, this barely held on. And although now they extended the current system until 2024, but in October, Phil Murphy proposed the New Jersey statewide student support services, the NJ4S, which would have effectively ended the mental health services based at individual schools, programs, Holly, that have existed since the 1980s, in favor of a model that would force students and parents to call and schedule mental health services at a community health center rather than having students obtain services in their schools. I mean, what kind of a ridiculous proposal was that? So I can't wait for your proposal to unfold. Holly, thank you so much for joining. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. That was Holly Shapizi, state senator. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Caldwell Soames Incorporated, investing globally in transformative businesses like Original Digital Corporation, or ODC. ODC develops advanced consumer and commercial fintech solutions such as OG Pay, which will transform the way you manage your money. From sending and receiving money globally for free, paying for goods and services in person and online, pay bills, buy and sell digital currencies, all while earning interest. OG Pay is easy to set up, FDIC insured, and your information is secured. Check out ogpay.com.
Welcome back, my beautiful friends. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. Welcoming back to the show in our Politigal segment is the amazing Holly Shapizi. Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, let's chat public sector. So it seems like unions and Phil Murphy should be peas in a pod. But after the State Health Benefits Commission voted to raise health insurance rates for New Jersey's public workers, one may wonder if Phil Murphy has a political motivation or simply dropped the ball for the people, arguably, Holly, who delivered him to Trenton in the first place. What are your thoughts on this?
I think it was dropping the ball. I think when, out of the 7 days a week, you're supposed to be governor in the state of New Jersey, and you're traveling 4 to 5 days of that week outside the state, a lot of things are slipping through the cracks. This particular healthcare hike was unconscionable for a whole host of reasons. The members of the legislature were never given a heads up during the month-long budgetary process. There were no accommodations, there was no supplemental money, and this is at a time that due to rising employee costs, due to rising insurance costs, supply chain issues, and the economy, our municipalities, our school districts, our counties are already struggling to make budget. And without any heads up whatsoever, you're talking about a small community like Riverdale, New Jersey, that I live in. Depending upon the number of employees that are there, you could be talking about, six-digit, mid to high six-digit increases to a budget without really any means of paying for it. And so you're talking in some instances 23% price hikes. And what people don't understand is, as a result of the union contracts, the municipalities, the communities can only pass off so much of that to the employees based upon the term of the contract and what's incorporated in there. So you're talking about massive, massive amounts of money that nobody was expecting to have to pay for, and really no pre-planning to do so. So the unions are upset for their members, the municipalities, the counties are exceptionally upset, the school districts. So you just had the city of Newark, which is one of the most staunch, Democratic areas, drop the state health benefit plan because they said they couldn't afford to do it.
This is unbelievable. I mean, if you look at everything he's touted himself to be, Governor Murphy has long defined himself as a champion for organized labor. Labor, in fact, was at the center of the battle with his rival, former Senate President Steve Sweeney. He was forced to expend so much treasure on, remember that? And then former Governor Chris Christie also famously or infamously clashed with labor during his tenure. But Murphy owes much of his political fortune to the goodwill, the support, and the hard work of organized labor. So not really sure where this came from, but totally underhanded, not called for. And well, he's not running for a third term. So moving on to New Jersey's next gubernatorial election is more than 2 years away. And Holly, there's potential contenders. They're already gearing up. We know that Phil can't run for a third consecutive term. We have politicians on both sides of the aisle hinting they might be interested. I feel you can bring this home. Will you run?
Right now, I'm focused on running for re-election for Senate this year, but as I've told many people, I never rule out any opportunity. If I didn't kind of jump into this 11 years ago, my very first position was being an assemblywoman with a 2-week-old baby in my arms as I was going door to door. I've fallen into politics while I'm here. It's to make a difference. It's not to be the quiet person sitting in the corner. And if it makes sense for me and my family, and if there's a real opportunity to do so, I never say never.
We never say never. We're going to put it out there, in the universe. Ask and you shall receive. I will be your number one fan. All right, let's move on to a fun fact. So I read that while you were going to law school, you interned for a New York Supreme Court judge, Judge Edwin Torres, who had written Carlito's Way, and you became very good friends, and he brought you to all the movie premieres in New York, ultimately getting you featured on a Wendy's commercial that enabled you to get your Screen Actors Guild card. So I love that you have an inclination for the arts and acting. Please tell me more.
So yeah, well, and I went to law school. I selected Fordham because I also wanted to pursue an acting career. So I was taking classes with a professor at Tisch who used to run Lee Strasberg's group, and managed to do some off Broadway. Was on NYPD Blue as an extra for a bunch of episodes, was on Spin City for probably about 7 or 8 episodes as an extra as well, did the Wendy's commercial, and I've always loved the arts. I paint, I play piano, I love to act, and even in my law career, I've represented film directors, producers, put together film funds. I produced a horror movie with 2 clients of mine one time. And it's something that I really feel passionate about, supporting people within the arts. My 93-year-old mother-in-law is an artist in Manhattan. She still continues to do shows, not around the world anymore, but in New York and in other areas. And so it's something where I sit on the Arts Council for the state of New Jersey, and really think that we need to ensure in all of our schools that our programs also thrive.
I'm beaming, gleaming. You just warmed my heart. I love it. As you know, we are a big arts family. I'm an actor myself. I have a movie coming out with Jamie Foxx this summer called Tin Soldier that I'm in. I've been acting my whole life. This was a serendipitous transition to film and radio. But yeah, I went to Lee Strasberg, Stella Adler Conservatory trained. I have a BFA in theater. I mean, this is what I love. This is what I do. And so it's my dream, living in New Jersey, currently in Norwood, New Jersey, Bergen County, to open an arts center in Norwood, New Jersey. So maybe you can call Mayor Barca and tell him to help me make it happen.
I will call Mayor Barca as soon as we hang up this phone, and I will highly recommend that we get moving on doing something.
I think we should. I mean, my husband is the CEO of Romulus Entertainment, and when you talk about film funds and you talk about big people in the entertainment industry, Romulus Entertainment produced Halle Berry's directorial debut, which we sold to Netflix at the height of the pandemic for one of the biggest price tags in independent film history. We sold Apple their first Apple TV Plus called The Banker with Samuel L. Jackson, Nia Long, Nicholas Hoult, and that got nominated for an NAACP award and won. My husband produced Fences with Denzel Washington. He's currently in production in the tri-state area, specifically going to be utilizing our state of New Jersey and our robust tax credit for film, shooting a movie called Killing Castro. And it's the true story of when Malcolm X meets Fidel Castro for the very first time right here in New York City. So amazing stuff. And now I just found my soul sister for the arts and entertainment, Holly Shapezi. This is incredible.
Well, I would love to collaborate and do stuff together in that space.
Perfect. Well, I'm going to hold you to it because I'm going to go knocking on Barca's door because there's a really cool location that I've been eyeing, and I think it would be amazing right here in Norwood, New Jersey. But more to come. So glad that you came on. It was a pleasure chatting with you. I'll definitely have you come on again. And more importantly, let's get you to stay in the position you're in and then move on up to where the Women Matters trailblazers right there for the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
Holly, thank you so much for joining. That was Holly Shapezi. You guys have to check her out. Head directly to her website at hollyshapezi.com. And more importantly, you guys have to understand that New Jersey needs all the help it could get. We are overtaxed. We don't have a good business climate. We're losing residents due to the way our state is run and our out of control spending. Our education system has been going downhill, and parents must have a say in their children's education. That's imperative. We sure pay enough taxes for it. There needs to be a new plan on property taxes and distribution. We need a two-party system where real changes are going to come in to improve our state, and we have to stop the migration of residents looking to enjoy their lives instead of being taxed to death. So therefore, we need Holly Shapezi. That was our Political segment brought to you by ogpay.com. That senator resides in Rivervale, right here, homegrown. Her husband and 2 children live with her. Couldn't be more proud to represent. Make sure you're heading to A Moment of Zen. This is 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeart Radio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Revere Securities. Revere is committed to building a relationship of trust in which they work closely with you to help you define your objectives, explore alternatives, and choose the financial and investment strategies that are most appropriate for you. Go to reveresecurities.com.
That's a wrap, my dear friends. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m., or you could head to 710wor.iheart.com/A Moment of Zen. Also, remember that we're now live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, YouTube Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Of course, all episodes of A Moment of Zen are now available on Kathy Ireland's Your Home TV streaming platform under our own channel banner, mox.yourhometv.com. And lastly, do check us out on FinTech TV every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Thank you for listening to A Moment of Zen. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Remember, happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it. And thanks to all of our sponsors that continue to make this show possible.